this is an annual tradition at the Young Turks. We pick the Turk of the Year and the Jerk of the Year. Let's start with the Turk of the Year this year. We did something different. We asked you guys to write in candidates. We did a whole website. The polling's closing on that, or has closed on that. And we had you guys pick the top 6 candidates, and then we had you vote on the top 6 candidates. Tens of thousands of votes here. And I want to show you the top 3 vote getters, and then I'll tell you who the people's choice is. Now, we're still going to pick the TYT choice, and it might or might not match up with the people's choice, but we want to give you both here. So coming in at number 3 was our very own Jordan Chariton, investigative reporter who helped to break the lead poisoning story in Indiana, helped to break Standing Rock's story and the Donna Brazile story about leaking questions to Hillary Clinton. Now, we're not going to give it to one of our own unless they did something extraordinary. Well, Wes Clark, when he led the cavalry in Veterans for Standing Rock, certainly could have been a possibility too. But thank you guys. It's much, much appreciated that you care that deeply about the great work that Jordan's doing at TYT Politics. Now, speaking of Standing Rock, number 2 in the fan voting was Standing Rock Sioux Water Protectors for Turk of the Year at 25.7. Previous Turk of the Year winners have been, by the way, Malala Yousafzai and Dr. Brantley, who helped the science in fighting back against epidemics, and Edward Snowden, and last year it was Bernie Sanders. And this year, the people's choice for Turk of the Year, again, Bernie Sanders, and by a comfortable margin. 48.6% of the vote overall went to Bernie Sanders. There's more votes for the top 6 candidates, but very understandably, Bernie Sanders, with a historic run, he closed a 60-point lead on Hillary Clinton in 1 year. People in the mainstream media don't talk about that enough. They go, oh, well, he lost. Yeah, but remember, almost no one knew Bernie Sanders when he started running, unless you cared deeply about politics. And almost everyone in the country knew Hillary Clinton. And brand name recognition, unfortunately, is so important in politics. And she had the entire Democratic Party machinery behind her. And in the beginning, she had all the money. With all those colossal advantages she had, Bernie Sanders' message was so popular that this guy that the media gave no chance to at all closed a 60-point lead. That's why the Young Turks last year made him Turk of the Year, because we recognized that even before a single vote was cast. We saw that handwriting on the wall. We knew how well he was going to do in Iowa and New Hampshire. We knew how well he was going to do in the primaries. One of you guys pointed out to me that I had done a video back in 2013 saying Bernie Sanders, him specifically, could beat Hillary Clinton in the primaries, and he almost did. Now, if I hadn't given Bernie the Turk of the Year in 2015, I probably would have had him repeat here. But he's won a Turk of the Year. I'm just keeping it totally real. But also because of how powerful they were and how much they deserved it, I actually gave Turk of the Year to the Standing Rock Sioux Nation, to the Water Protectors. Now, they came in second in the voting anyway, but so as far as the official TYT Turk of the Year, and since we got 2 reporters now, Jordan Chariton, who's been up there at least 5 times. Now, thanks to you guys, we just hired Nomika Cones. We will literally deliver that prize to them. There's an actual statue or award that we give them, and we'll hand that to them. So why those guys? Well, look, they started on an impossible journey. They were up against giant corporations with billions of dollars. They were up against the government of North Dakota, clearly against them. The cops showed up on day 1. They never even considered whether the pipeline was in violation of any laws, and later it was confirmed that, yes, there was no environmental impact statement. There needed to be one. They could not drill, but the cops never turned around. They always were lined up against those water protectors. And they would not bend. They would not go away. That's the spirit that I love. That's the whole point of this award, is the underdog who fights against the establishment, against the powerful, and protects the innocent and the powerless. That's exactly what Standing Rock Sioux Nation is. So those guys started that fight, and they did it in a peaceful way. And what did the media do? They piled on, oh, the violent protesters. We brought up a camera there, and then all of a sudden a lot of independent media showed up, not the mainstream media, but independent media, and everybody's got phones now. And they started taking pictures and video, and we started showing you the video on the Young Turks. And it turns out the water protectors were never violent. It's not true. And then we showed you the cops firing tear gas canisters that started fires, that they then try to blame on the water protectors. But sorry, we got it on tape. You're the one who did it, not them. We showed you how they turned those water cannons on those innocent water protectors in freezing temperatures. And no matter how long it took, no matter how cold it was, no matter how little attention they got in the beginning, and no matter how they were maligned and lied about, and no matter what the odds were, the Standing Rock stood tall, and they would not go away. And in the blistering cold of North Dakota today, they still stand. I mean, it is a classic story of an underdog representing the powerless and pulling off victories that people thought were impossible and inconceivable. And finally, of course, President Obama denied the drilling permit to the Dakota Access Pipeline, saying, no, you cannot drill under the Missouri River. Now, it's possible that President-elect Trump might overturn that at some point. But that environmental impact statement that was ordered could take months and even years to execute. And in the meanwhile, the Dakota Access Pipeline might lose the contracts that they need to finish that pipeline. So it's still up in the air. But what was seen as predestined and inevitable turned out that even if you're a little guy, and even if throughout history you've been crushed and attacked and bulldozed, that you could still stand up and still make a difference. The Standing Rock Sioux more than deserved the Turk of the Year. So thank you to them for fighting that fight, and super proud to have covered it. You can help build independent media. We're now doing fundraising to get 4 new investigative reporting teams out there and be the watchers on the wall. We're not going to let Trump get away with anything. We're not going to let the establishment get away with anything. You help us build it. tytnetwork.com/go. Be part of the solution.